Gentlelady yields back the balance of her time.
Virginia.
For what purpose, gentleman from Virginia rise?
Strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I listened to the lady with interest, and of course it's easy to sit in Washington and whatever group you may be with to say, well, this group is wrong or that group is wrong, and everybody can trot out their experts. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, the CRS doesn't own and operate boilers. Businesses do. Lots of them are going to be impacted by this, big businesses, small businesses, and the people who work for them. Last week I referenced a letter to the editor of the Virginian Leader sent in by Mr. and Mrs. Kinney, in which they said, and I quote, "I'm going to be very blunt with the following opinion. As a factory worker and taxpayer, I'm getting sick and tired of these federal agencies who have nothing better to do except sit in their Washington offices and draw up rules and regulations to kill American jobs. Why don't they get off their sorry behinds and go out across the nation and try to help industry save what jobs we have left? And who is paying the EPA people's salary? We are, the American workers. I believe in protecting the environment, but we can't shut the whole country down to achieve it." I referenced that letter last week, and then I referenced Giles County in my comments in a Republican radio address later last week. And as a response to that, Mr. and Mrs. Kinney wrote again to the leader. We're not talking about big business here. We're talking about businesses that affect the employees in small counties all across this country. The leader, for example, has 5,010 subscribers. Not a giant newspaper, but the Kinneys wrote back in and they said, as I stated in the 9/21/11 letter to the editor, I'm a blue-collar factory worker with limited education, and I have worked for our county's largest employer for nearly 35 years. The only reason I'm speaking out on this issue is this: to get others involved. Our economic future and way of life here in Giles County could be on the line unless residents, business owners, civic organizations, and others come together and support H.R. 2250. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, the people of America understand that the EPA is in fact killing jobs. They understand that while we have to have a clean environment, and we all want a clean environment, as the gentleman from Kentucky said earlier today, we can do that. This is a reasonable approach. H.R. 2250 is a very reasonable approach which will do both. Continue us on the regulatory path, but make sure those regulations are reasonable and effective, and to make sure that we protect the jobs of the United States of America while we go forward in protecting the environment as well. And I yield back my time, Mr. Speaker.